In the heart of the Philippines, where the sun always shines, there's a tale of resilience in the midst of hard times. George and Heidi with courage in their stride, facing down the critics with nothing to hide. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright. In the face of adversity, they take flight. With every negative comment, they rise above, spreading love and laughter through the power of love. On the streets of Manila, they share their story bold. Through the lens of the camera, their adventures unfold. But amidst the laughter, there's criticism too. Yet George and Heidi, they always stay true. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright. In the face of adversity, they take flight. With every negative comment, they rise above, spreading love and laughter through the power of love. They share their story bold. Through the lens of their camera, their adventures unfold. But amidst the laughter, there's criticism too. Yet George and Heidi, they always stay true. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright. In the face of adversity, they take flight. With every negative comment, they rise above, spreading love.
Topic I think is going to be a little bit controversial. He just sits there all day and just waits people to come in a coffee shop, and then he pounces on them. But what does he bring to a young Filipina?
Paul Cardwell is a scumbag. In 2013, he's arrested and charged with fraud and theft from 2 hospitals. This is money that would have gone to take care of sick children.
Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to give the report on my online immigration attempt. I think it went well, but I haven't heard for sure. So that'll be tomorrow's topic. I'll see you guys then from World Zoom. Bye-bye.
Bureau of Immigration operatives arrested an American national wanted in his home country for fraud.
You know, I don't know if they just weren't trained in the information systems and the computer programs that they had, or they just simply just didn't have the mental capacity to follow, a simple program.
How are you feeling, man? What's going on?
I'm tired of fucking being in jail.
Hey, Zoomers, welcome back to World Zoom. So happy you could join me.
So today we have Sheila today. Sheila, how are you doing? And where have you been? Exclusive interview with Sheila, guys.
You've been asking me about the money, and I said I'm not going to tell you, George.
Oh, Sheila, sorry.
What? Leave me alone. I was like, tell me where the money is. And I said, what, did you leave it in Thailand? Did you, what's up? And I was like, what type of resident, you're trying to be in the Philippines and all this stuff. And it's like, what did you do with the money? And he said something about diapers, his diapers, the baby's diapers. And I'm like, you probably both wear diapers. And then next thing you know, my lipstick got all smeared. And I'm like, where's the money? And he said, just shut up and just do your thing. And it was very sad.
Now, to translate, just real quick, for those of you who are wondering what Sheila just said, I'm going to translate. It goes like this.
How dare you insinuate that anything happened?
I'm not insinuating. I'm just translating.
What? It's hot here. It's hot. It's really, really hot. damn hot. I can't even keep my makeup and just look at my hair.
Oh my gosh.
Be sure to subscribe. Subscribe, like, and subscribe for this ridiculous channel. You look like you sucked the chrome off of something recently. How dare you insinuate?
Right, that's what milkfishes do.
My man deserves some time. You see how buff he is in that photo?
Right, true story.
Sweet baby Jesus. Down by the river. I'm going down by the river. I'm going. Hey, I found religion when I was there today, man.
Right, true story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang. JR says, is that Sheila or Monica Lewinsky? Dang.
Who's Monica?
Right, true story. That's what Bill said. Just
Who's
saying.
that? Who's Bill?
Right, that's what he said too.
What year was
Oh,
that?
who's that? Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Morning. Actually, for you guys again, magandang umaga, masanding abak, mayong buntag to you in the west. Masanding
This
bengi,
Asian
magandang
is
gabi
so weird.
for those who are here in the Philippines.
It is so
Good
hot.
evening.
And the bugs.
Actually, it is. It's actually very hot.
And when you
Yes.
took me out earlier, there were so many e-trikes and so many Asian dudes. I couldn't find you, and there I am just running down the street. And
Yes, I just blend right in. I look there like everybody else. True
you,
story.
You do.
All the Filipinos look like Wojak. Those are not words for me, just so you guys know. Right? Anyway.
Who's Wojak?
Exactly. Anyway, Racerx, good evening. Hi, peeps. Farside, ooh, morning drama. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Mayap na abak kaya kayo. He says, that means in Kapampangan, good morning to all of you.
You look like you may want to have a little fun.
Anyway,
Okay.
just so you know, I don't
Give me some sugar.
no, I don't claim ownership
Give me some sugar.
with this person. Even in the
Give
mall,
me some sugar.
I make sure I walk way ahead, and I said, "Mom, leave me alone." But anyway,
What you talking about? I'm 22 years old.
hi, Bill and Yvonne from Toledo City.
Oh Lord.
And Luminar says Barry Jordan on the bottom bunk.
Right.
Hashtag Ryan on Wi-Fi. Right, Mike Ross. His bunkmate was Barry Jordan, right? That's hilarious. Hey, Michael Johnson, how you doing? Saw you really late today. You were probably busy today.
I was busy today trying to get that money from that baby's diaper.
Oh, dang. AJ Hap says, aloha, inmate Michael Johnson and Warden Venus.
Venus.
Aloha, antics. Ilamar Magico
Why
says,
do I feel like I got ants?
I think this is directed for you.
Ants in my nose. What?
Sucking chrome.
Is that like the one-eye fish?
What?
One-eye fish. One-eye weasel?
It's called a one-eyed snake. There's no one-eyed fish. There's
What they got
the
like?
flounders have two eyes still. I mean, and they have both eyes on one side eventually.
Things are really weird here in the Philippines.
Right. Ozzy says Ozzy for one morning is at home in the Philippines.
Why would they say that? I mean, I just visited my guy in a Cebu jail, and George took me up there, and we have some footage, and I really missed him.
Right. Michael John says magandang gabi, good evening. Oh, actually, okay. So AJ Hap says whoever she's portraying, apparently she doesn't swallow like some of those Filipino YouTubers says.
What's up with that?
Right. True story. You're right. You're kind of too pale. But anyway.
Kind of pale, huh?
Yeah. And you're supposed to talk with an accent, I guess.
What accent?
Exactly. What? I have to wipe my. Anyway.
What are you doing?
What?
What? That was I had a fish sandwich today.
Oh, sure.
Tartar
It's
sauce.
tartar sauce, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you guys know, I have no clue what she is going to say today, nor does she knows what she's saying today. Honestly, we're that unscripted. But anyway, just fact says, what the heck? Who's Roy Orbison? I have no clue who Roy Orbison is.
Are you serious?
Yes, babe. I never claim I know everything. If I don't know something, I will actually say in public, I don't know.
Pretty woman walking down the street.
Okay, I know the song. I don't know the artist name, but I don't know what he looks like. So, yeah.
Looks like a gay Roy Orbison.
Yeah. Oh, see, there you go. See, it's, but again, like I said,
I guess Zoom likes him like that.
Yes, AJ, it is still available from McDonald's. Yes. It's kind of like the McRib, I guess. I mean, it's available for a good amount of time, but right now it's still available. Yes, you can still order
Sure looked like a little Keekum today, though, in that jail.
What? Anyway,
Never claimed he was a stud. There.
Philip Jack says in Vietnam, yes, and AJ says yes. Roy Orbison is a singer-songwriter. Yes. Now I know, and knowing's half the battle.
Staying in character. Right.
Wigs are hot. Not I mean as in hot, like ooh hot. No, as in hot, as in they're make you sweat, kind of hot. Yeah. What the heck? Oh, that's never mind. I was just wondering. She put it on.
No, I don't think it's actually going to be a permanent actual.
No. I wish. It does. They do it this every year, I guess.
Oh yeah, we're not going through that again.
What?
Oh, because it just triggered the cats. The wig.
No, they love the wig. They think it's a big giant hairball waiting for them to play with.
Yeah.
Not joking. Speaking of Chrome, it's Philip Janik. All right. Thank you guys for joining us today. Again, this is somewhat like of an extra live for you guys again.
Yeah, so the last few days we've been hearing from people, again, waiting for additional information. And in researching a little bit, some things have come out. We have to say that these are alleged possibilities and a discussion today, but the footage of him in jail is real, okay, in Cebu. We said that he was in the detention center in Cebu, and but according to the jail officials, should we leak that out already? What they're saying?
Okay, now be aware there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Floating.
AKA there's these weird rumors, and I mean rumors that like, oh well, he was doing this, doing that. I'm not even gonna go deep into it. Most of it doesn't even warrant being mentioned. It's like, dude, really? Anyway.
Right. So the first thing that we will say that's unconfirmed, okay, if you guys remember all the articles that are put out by the government, they are saying, should we show the footage first? What do you think? Wait a little bit. All right. So let's go with the information first. So that, remember, it said that he currently he came in on March 5th for his word, and then he applied for an online extension. Okay, online extension. He then proceeded to go into the offices, which he has mentioned, and then the newspapers mentioned, to apply for what is a permanent resident visa. Understand there's only X amount of permanent residency visas. The most common would be a 13A or an SRRV, which costs money in deposits. Special investor visa, which requires a really large amount of money. And then I believe the other one is a special investor. It's a SVGG or CG. I don't have it exactly, but that's where you hire in a ton of employees and employ a bunch of Filipinos. Okay, so it would either be to actually hire in a bunch of people, which would require money. And then the other one is 75 to 100,000, and then an SRV starts being he allegedly was military. There's rumors out there that he wasn't military at all. We've seen a letter, but I don't know. I can't. We didn't receive the letter. Someone else had it, so I don't know if I want to believe that it says he's not in the military. But then we had a lot of people try to confirm that he was in there under a year. So he might be able to apply for the inexpensive one that you only need. What was the investor visa?
75,000.
No, not the investor visa, the SRB. I
Oh,
believe the
that's-
lowest amount is 1,500 is
Yeah,
the
that's
deposit
different,
on
yeah.
that, give or take, or 1,000. I forgot which it was. Been a while since we've had that article up, or it could go up to, I believe, 20,000. Like if he's got medical conditions, so that still requires money. So then the jail confirms today that his wife is taking care of him. Dun, dun, dun. Hence the little act I put on today, joking around.
What's that song again? About his wife.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, baby. Oh.
I have no idea. So now, could the jail have got it wrong, and it could just be what they're referring to as his girlfriend coming in to help? That's the initial thing we heard. So now there is information that he might even be married, hence what the government said. He went in to ask about a permanent resident visa. So here's the other tricky thing that's actually come along, okay, is that I would go ahead and bring up the article. I'm going to bring up an article that came up a couple years back, okay? So it's been confirmed on websites and me reading some articles that, here, can you pause that a minute? Okay. It's being said that the Philippines does not usually deport based on criminal records, okay? So they would call you an undesirable. This case that I found from a couple years back indicated a guy that opened a business, and we're not saying that's what's going on, but it's been said that there were additional charges, also unconfirmed. But based on just a criminal act, it's usually not what they actually have the people leave for. But the BI stressed that a criminal conviction of an alien is not a prerequisite for deportation. Okay, so we know that there are a lot of people here that actually are on criminal records. And so in saying this, there's possibly maybe something else that is going on besides just finding his criminal record and not reporting it and everything. So there's a lot actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you want to add to that? So this couple and the guy actually opened a business, and he was found where he wasn't supposed to be working on his type of visa. So not only did he have a criminal record, they're saying the reason they got rid of him was because he was an undesirable on top of it. So that's where the key words actually come in.
Now,
something else going on.
The thing is I know what we said prior. However,
Yeah.
be aware that
These are all,
according to the BI, Bureau of Immigration, they're not going to deport you of what you've done. They're going to deport you of what you're doing.
no, it is. They say it's not a norm. Now, can they? Because they found out that he stole a passport and he was arrested and everything else, and they did a deeper dive on him. Yes. But then comes in the other rumors, such as, could some other vlogger have reported him? Could somebody else, such as a girlfriend, reported him for something? Could there be other things that might be going on? So the rabbit hole is going deeper. The biggest reason we're going live is because the jail one said that it was his wife that's been coming by, and again, unsubstantiated. And the permanent resident situation that keeps coming up in the articles and stuff. So there's only so many types. So then George was like, that almost makes sense if you think about the investor visas and some of the amounts of money that might be missing.
The investor visa is kind of like a self-red flag, if that makes any sense to you guys.
Somebody said that, he was living in a certain area and then all of a sudden he ends up in this nice condo, allegedly, which still costs some money to actually live in all of a sudden, in Cebu and everything. So it's like all of a sudden possibly spending more money.
Right. And
Who
again,
knows?
um,
This is a discussion, people. So for sure, a lot going on. So it's been kind of like the same thing going on in the articles, but the more information that pours in, the emails, the messages, and so I think we will. You want to go ahead and
well, it's just the
you can play it. It was just the rest of the article, just saying that it is up to the commissioner to actually release somebody, but the
oh, it's
key
the same
word
thing.
is deportation. So I don't think the government in the United States is looking for him for anything. So yeah, you see that?
Which one? This one, or is it
Yeah,
that one?
mean, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I mean that's self promotion. But go ahead and play. It looks like he's got himself a buddy already.
so that's Paul Cardwell again, in
Cebu
Cebu
detention.
Detention Center, and that's where he's at. And as you can see, he's there. From what we know, again, his alleged wife is the one visiting him and taking care of him, as far as we are informed, anyway.
What he has said in the past, though, we'll let you guys be aware. A lot of people know that he says that he has a girlfriend. Is what he had. So, are the jails right? Are the jails wrong? Is immigration saying him applying for a permanent resident visa, or is he getting an investor visa, which costs money? So all of a sudden, he goes from a smaller place in Dumaguete or his mother's house on into a nicer place in Cebu, and the only other available visas are these ones that cost deposits and money. And
Now, the 13A is somewhat okay. First off, the 13A, if he filed for a 13A, aka a permanent visa, it makes sense if he has his wife. However, that kind of does not necessarily require a witch hunt, as it were. If he did pursue or rather an investor visa, that's a different story, and that
there's
makes
only so many permanent resident
correct,
visas.
and
It's either
that makes more
businesses or
sense.
marriage that actually qualifies for them, and the
And
other ones require money.
the fact that's what's on the news, it's not so much as what he's doing now, it's what he did then would actually go hand in hand with
That would
what
trigger them to
correct.
check his background.
That would kind of okay, that makes sense now. Not so much as he married a Filipino, it's so much as wait a minute.
Now they will do a background check, but like they said, that's not cause for deportation. It's just not. It's not their prerequisite or their list of reasons. There has to be something else going on. If he starts a business or putting in money for something, and it makes him start checking his background, and then they see the history that everybody's aware of, then maybe. The other is marriage, and maybe something else happened. Maybe there were some reports. It's kind of hard saying.
Now, I don't think it again, well, first off, it's not I don't think. We know it's not an extradition, it's a deportation. There's a difference between the two. Because again, we understand and we respect again, past is past, but the reason why we played what he said now is because it goes against what actually happened. It contradicts, which means the lies never stop. However, the issue we have here again, it's not an extradition. Nothing against what you, Philip. it's deportation. The wordings are two different things. And again, extradite means US says, hey, we want that guy, versus the Philippines say, hey, we don't want this guy. Two different stories. In this story, or this narrative, as it were, it's the Philippines that say, hey, we don't want you.
Yeah, so
No, again, no, I'm Bruce again. Yeah, I mean, he is again obviously being taken care of, not obviously, but I mean on both parties. I
Right.
mean, he's not, of course, obviously being abused or anything by the people who detained him, but also he is being taken care of by his alleged wife.
and we've opened up the room for people to come in, and we get it twice. We see somebody's in there promoting another channel. If that other channel wants to come on and talk with us, then they actually can. I don't know why you're so hardcore pressed to put that name in there over and over again. So
Yeah, now
just gonna mention that on the side.
no, Alex Bumban, the reason why we did that is again, first off, okay, no. I mean, I'm not trying to promote anybody or anything, or even. First off, you can
It's
tell that World Zoom, aka Paul Cardwell, isn't exactly a schmuck. I mean, he doesn't just just sit there and just drink
it's just
his Jack
doing this
Daniels.
stereotypical thing that when they're in city jails or prison,
Well,
they work out.
even
so
with
they get buff while they're in
right,
jail.
but I mean, even with his shirt on, even with his polo shirt on, you can tell he's got a V shape going on. I mean, I'm not. No. He's not athletic fit, but he's fit.
Kenny and Subic, it's not a necessary just because he's a felon that they're going to throw him out. The articles that I found over and over today, it's not normal for them just to throw somebody out because they're a felon.
It's kind of like
It's actually in
something
there.
happened somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So undesirable can be what he's called, but that means something else happened. So, and maybe he applied for a visa that made them look into his past. I mean, they'll do a basic background, but I mean, according to the Philippine law and their immigration and everything, that they won't judge the people just based on that. There's got to be something else going on to bring it all to their attention. They're just not going to round up every person that's done something wrong. So I thought I would say that on the side. That's what that article was about. It was based on, they knew he had a felony and aware, but the guy was running a restaurant and hiring in other foreigners and different things. And it's like they consider that taking jobs away from other people. And he had no proper business permits or an actual work permit. So therefore he was deported.
Right.
So,
AJ again.
that article.
This is somewhat. I'm not not against you. Being deported is the wrong way around on getting something on a fast track. Here's a question: what if this was orchestrated by Paul to have expedite his marriage, if it's true, to his Filipino on getting her visa back to the US? One, getting deported brings you into the realm of the DA, meaning they'll look at your case. Why did this guy just get deported? They'll review your files. What I'm saying is, when you get deported, you're not free. That isn't how it works.
And I don't think that gives an expedited track.
Correct. That actually puts it on the back, like on the far back
That's
end.
up to the U.S. That would have nothing to do with the Philippines.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's would be what I'm saying is, getting deported is one thing about if you're trying to get to the
They
US for
focus in Asia.
free, that's a different story. Then yes, I would understand that, but that's not the case.
And yes, Alex, they do. Alex was answering for somebody asking about felonies. The answer is yes. There's quite a few here.
Focus in Asia says no secrets share with the rest of the class, says JR.
Yeah, we pretty much, because I think that was early on when we first opened up. Real quick shout out to, we have Kenny and Subic in the house, Bruce. Cinder, other Bruce, Alex is in the house. We have opened up the actual chat. Okay, this is just an extra live here. AJ Happ is in the house. And let's see. Of course, we have Michael Music Demotion. I believe I seen Ted in there earlier.
Yes, Ted is in here with us. Yes.
And what's going on? Ramsey. Just kind of scrolling through
Gordon?
to see who was in
Is
here.
that you? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, just facts. Farsight, coming in and everything.
Now,
So,
Bruce again says, didn't I hear there was a manhunt for him? They didn't do that for deportation. I heard that the FBI was looking for him. The FBI doesn't work. No,
they're talking about the original manhunt.
Big difference. There a manhunt? Yes. Was that already done and over with? Yes. Is he being extradited? No.
Yeah, it was just the way. Yeah, he's not being extradited. The words are deportation.
Correct.
So, yeah, that's them dumping him out, not the U.S. pulling him in.
Right. No, I mean, the U.S. is like,
they try to get the keywords and try to understand.
Honestly, the U.S. probably like, you can keep him for all we care.
And remember, at the end of the day, guys, this is a discussion, and it really is open, for people to discuss. And it's just more information that we've actually uncovered. So,
and again, we personally don't have anything against the guy. I mean, like I said, the reason why we brought up his past is to establish that somehow his character profile hasn't changed from the point of where he did things wrong.
And there are some things linked in there.
Right.
Think about the permanent resident visas.
If the guy's telling you things like, "Oh well, I was with Victor Bout," no, he never was with Victor Bout. But guess what? This is the story he weaves, and this tells you in his current state the things he still says.
Didn't he actually say he worked in a hospital here too?
Correct. Worked in a hospital here. Worked in a hospital in Thailand, which he never did.
Right.
Not gossip. We're not talking about gossip. We're talking about facts.
The US,
yes, he was surgeon for Peyton Manning. Sorry, I have no clue how I twisted that. He was, Point being is we're establishing that he's of not sound right in mind. He's still, as I would call a
very,
he can't help himself. He'll weave stories, and bottom line, he hasn't changed.
We have one person in the room that said they can't hear us. Okay, so I guess they definitely can. No, and they will. They did the fingerprints in a background for me, and so I've already cleared 2 of them. So they will, and they're not like oblivious to anything that's happened in the past. But just like they said, something else might have happened. There, something has triggered them. Now, could it be what I mean? We've heard things all the way down to it could have been something he said on his channel, because they do have people that scour YouTube and social media. It could be that maybe one of the other bloggers, I'll mention that again. We know that there's beef between World Zoom and Mark Thornton. We know also, we also know that
Barry.
It could be an ex that actually did it. Could be anything, guys. It's just where it's at right now. But there was a belief that it was strictly because of his past. Okay, we're kind of like, we're not sure yet. We've been saying that, but the fact that the permanent resident visas, there's only so many of them, and he did inquire on one of those after he applied. He admitted online that he got his extension and everything, but it was him in the office that triggered him. Something triggered the office to look. Now, was it a report they had on file or something that came through? Was it that he tried to apply for one of those business ones, or who knows? But something caused him to look at the whole situation, or something happened. We also...
Well, like I said, I get what you said, that my 13 process is very extensive fingerprints and lots of paperwork.
Nope, it is.
Guys, trust me, Philippines isn't as backwater as you think. Again, honestly, when I got my Philippine driver's license, they took all of my fingerprints, literally. I mean, they didn't even do that in the U.S. But what I'm saying is the 13A, the investment visa makes more sense that he gets now for the investment visa versus 13A, because
More
again, the
expensive.
13A would deal, okay, we have established this guy is this. We have established that this guy has done this. However, the
They get the rest of
investment
the
visa, then they go like, wait a minute, where did this money come from? Wait a minute. This guy wants to invest in the Philippines. However, where did this money come from?
Yep, anything's possible.
Correct. There's a different story. Again, it's not ours to tell, but pretty much it's and again, for those of you who says, Barry, we love you. Barry again is has gone over the age of 80. And congratulations,
Really
Barry. Love you,
overage
man.
drinking.
Overage drinking. I love that. I love that. Well, there's an old saying in the Philippines that you flip your age and that's your current age. So I guess Barry would be 8. Anyway, Michael Quinn says your volume is gone. However, Michael Johnson says music motion. I can hear him.
8 or 9.
If Michael Johnson says I can hear him, I believe him, because Michael Johnson is a professional audio music producer, and therefore he knows what he's talking about. Go says hello, fellow Zoomers. Sounds good. Let's see. Okay, so I believe, Alex, is that you in the background?
Yeah, I think it is. Hey,
Yes,
Alex.
yes. Okay. Hey, Alex, how you doing? So here's Alex, Eastern Dreamer. Obviously he has something to say. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Let me know if there's any echo. I just still mess with
sounds
my audio
perfect,
bit,
man.
but excellent. Thank you so much, George. Yeah, I think the question that comes to my mind is, and I don't know how related it is, but does he, after he gets back, does he go to South America? I imagine that he's. I don't know if you guys can speak to this, but I imagine that he's not going to be able to just immediately buy a plane ticket and try to come back to the Philippines. I guess the other thing that I'd be curious about, and this would be a question more for a lawyer, but you guys may be able to shed light on it, is he permanently blacklisted? Is this the situation where they've essentially told him, hey, you're not welcome here ever again? Like, this is us kind of showing you the door, yeah.
Right. According to the girlfriend or alleged wife that we're being told that hired the attorney and through the jail and everything, that an attorney has been hired and they plan to fight the commissioner. Now, can they do that and request it? I mean, anything's a possibility with an attorney or money. I mean, this is the Philippines and everything.
Well,
so
I guess 3 million will do that. But okay, but here's the
stashed
thing.
in his kids' diapers and
in all
over in
fairness,
Thailand.
regardless of who, I mean, again, it doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter what Heidi says or anybody says. That the thing is, Philippines have a propensity of not saying if you're on the blacklist or not. What I'm saying is, by default,
I've seen some articles that have said
Right.
they're being blacklisted.
but it usually, if you're on the blacklist, they don't.
And
not normal.
Right. And we've read through some articles.
They don't
and
announce it.
That was one that we found where they said it's not a norm that they're just going to say, hey, that they're going to get rid of him just because of that. But his is pretty extensive. He stole the passport. He was arrested in Thailand a while back. The charges, the amount of money, but something had to trigger that search.
Correct.
Something triggered.
Yeah. Well, I suspect part of it is just that, and this is just my opinion, of course, that he was not very respectful in some of his videos. I may be strange to some people watching some of his videos. There was this dirty fascination. I almost felt like, almost like one of your other guests mentioned about Andy Omar's channel at times, where I just felt like this guy is such a weird person. I've got to like try to understand why somebody like him, would do the things that he
He's
did, right? Because it's such an
intriguing.
yeah. There's something
It's
just
kind of
off
like a
about
guilty
him.
pleasure that one of our guests said. It's kind of like Andy Omar, us. We're like a train wreck. It's like passing a car wreck. I'm sorry, y'all are here, and that's what you're here for. And so it's like a guilty pleasure of, some sort of situation. But no, I get it too. We've watched them too, and it's I think it is, you know. And there's
Yeah,
definitely something, there's definitely something about that. Now, what I think's strange now is now that you're watching it, the amount of money and everything that's happened in his past, then it's even more when he gives out the advice on the side, it's kind of like he's really giving that advice. And then you think about his past. So I think that's, what, keeps people going for sure. So,
Well, and not
yeah.
to
I think
mention, I
for
mean, yeah,
I
sorry,
think
go
for a
ahead.
lot of people like him, we think of them as people who are in bars for life, right? If you see people that have committed that type of crime in America, you don't feel, at least in my opinion, it's very rare you're going to interact with them after they've been released from their, situation. So it was like watching this kind of predator that's outside of the cage, that you're
mhm.
seeing them like just in a more, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, there's definitely something shady about it. But sorry, George, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt
no, no,
you.
you're fine. You're fine.
And there was another one that we read about where it was a couple somewhere, either Germany or New Zealand or something, but they were both, the husband and wife were here for like 8 years. Sometimes deportation can take a while, but it was an alleged crime. And once again, they got hooked by something that happened. I think they had fell behind on their immigration, and then something triggered them to go through their past, and that was it. So they set, back in the day, they set for almost 8 years to get, extradited from the country that wanted them allegedly on something. But this one was not, like I said, the US trying to, pull them in. And initially we're like, if you read the article, you can see that they're saying that they're reading the exact crime from the FBI list. So it's the exact same crime. And I think the only thing that I might have slipped up on is, like how many hospitals. I think there was the third part of it where he actually wired the money to his friend. And then there were two locations, Indiana and Wyoming. So yeah, it was something else. It was like, like that movie, The Fugitive. It was,
No, it is. Now, in all
catch me if
fairness,
you can.
Kane Subic again, he said it jokingly, but he says he got ratted out by Mark Thornton. However, there is some partial truth to that, and what I mean by that is
He's pretty ticked.
normally odds are he was ratted out by.
Well, and it was said because remember that whole child bride thing, and they went back and forth on each other for quite some time. And he re-released that video again recently and called him out and said he exposed him, but it was like all out there. People were covering it left and right.
Now, the reason why this ratted out thing again, I'm actually happy that Kane Subic says he got ratted out
I
by
said that.
Mark Thornton.
No, I was like,
Right.
it's probably might be old Mark
Right.
that threw him under the bus.
So the reason why this actually is relevant is because here's the thing. If you do build a business here in the Philippines, and guess what? You cannot build one on your own unless you have millions of dollars. And I mean, Paul isn't that silly
Specific.
where he's going to invest the millions because he has to prove where it came from. The Philippines is really good at that.
Yeah.
So odds are he didn't go that route. He went with somebody else, meaning a partner, as it were.
I don't know. It didn't sound too smart to go in there asking about
So-
a certain type of visa because it got
Well,
mad.
right. But what
They're
I'm saying
saying
is
that was
normally
their-
here's how it works in most expats, and this also another goes into you guys' realm, which is why I don't never recommend open a business here. One of the things is normally as an expat, you can't open a business here unless you invest literally millions, which again, they're at that point you're like, well, then what are you doing here in the Philippines? So Paul, again, in all probabilities, he was opening a business with a partner, a Filipino partner. Now, I'm not condoning this behavior, obviously, because this is wrong. There is somewhat of a scam where a Filipino and an expat investor go together. All right, we're going to open a club, because usually that's the thing they do. Let's open a bar.
It's easy.
Correct. And then they're going to
But
be like, okay.
yeah.
So basically the Filipino is the one, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to manage this and manage this. You're going to provide the money. So the money man, aka the expat, says, okay, here's the money. Do it. As it's almost ready for the bar to open, here's the scam part. The Filipino will be like, hey, by the way, this guy, this expat, I'm going to tell you the dirt on him.
Oh, in other words, get him, captured.
Boom, done. Expat deport. I'm not saying that's what happened, but again, like Kenny said, he got ratted out. Odds are, if he got ratted out, it's probably his partner. If he did get ratted out,
it's hard saying.
I felt like he could have done a lot to avoid a lot of this. I mean, there was one, a lack of transparency that is painfully obvious, but two, like before he pursued this kind of visa situation, he should have been talking to well-respected attorneys in the area and running his actions by them like, hey, I've got a past, this is what I'm concerned about, A, B, and C. Is this something that you've seen other people get into issues with? Is there a precedent for this? Is this a situation where maybe I shouldn't have a YouTube channel? Because I noticed a lot of people said that after he got in trouble. It's like, why, with the kind of history that he has, why would he want to go on there and broadcast everything that he's doing, his location, talking about where he's at, the building he's staying at, all these things? Like, you have to expect people are going to dig in, especially after there's just so much to his past. And I feel like he could have turned over a new leaf, if not in the sense that he can't make things right, just like trying to be more proactive. It just doesn't make a lot of sense as to why he went down this path. But
right now, we're not, again, like Alex says, he could be turning a new leaf, and we're not condemning, Paul for what he's doing currently. However, what I'm saying is, if he had that much baggage, it's easy for somebody to use that baggage against him.
It makes you vulnerable.
Or he kept telling the lies to people. Some people said he was never even in the military. Some said he was only in there for 10 months. There was a letter that unconfirmed he was even in there at all. So, but like I said, I would never show that letter because we're not even sure the person that had the letter was even right. So, it's like a 50-50 on whether he was even ever in the military. So then it was said stolen valor. So then he was upset with another vlogger over that. And then, everything, he lied to Mark, he lied to Paul. There was a group of guys sitting around, all the work and hospitals and careers, and he still was telling people that all this existed. So it's one thing for a few white lies or to boost a little bit. And I'm not condoning that, but to really be hardcore about the entire story was, if you were just avoid telling somebody about your past, like I said, the past was the past thing, you paid your dues, but then it came into finding out that he was, a snitch in jail, and that's how he actually, possibly got out. And it just came down to a bunch of different things. And now, first thing that was said when he went, when he got arrested was that that there was a brand, they're coming back for him for the same crime. And
right. In all probabilities, again, he is trying to turn a new leaf. Now, whether or not he's trying to turn a new leaf again, now some of you will say, well, maybe, hid the money somewhere and grabbed it. We're not saying he didn't do that, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't trying to go all out, if that makes any sense. He's aware he's not in his old grandeur where he can take millions of dollars from the Philippines, that kind of deal. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
No, I didn't say I didn't say that he was on the up and up because, again, I'm not him, nor can I vouch that he's not. However, the point is, people, if you have a pass, people will use it against you if you're trying to go in straight
I
and
just think
narrow.
it's crazy he started a channel where he was out
Correct.
in
That is the
public
worst thing you can
starting
do.
and barking at people.
That is the worst thing you can do.
You know, and
And
again,
being
I
critical.
was joking early about me as a kid and the stealing of candy at 10 and 11 situation. It's a little different than that, things being used against him. I know he's really got to pass 4.8 million. That's a lot.
And a lot of that stuff that he said, like, there was no benefit to it. I mean, one of his videos, he's complaining about the service in the Philippines. It's like, that's one, it's not true. I found the service to be fine in the Philippines. I found the people to be friendly and nice. But two, like, who are you trying to impress? Most of us actually really like the Philippines. We have a positive outlook on the people, the culture, the way they do things. You're not going to curry favor with anybody by being critical in that way. The people who maybe they find that the Philippines isn't for them, that's okay too, but you don't have to. I don't know. I just didn't really like how critical he was. It's like, who are you to talk? The past that he's got, like, he should just be grateful for any time that he has in a place so nice.
I think he should have just stayed with his mom.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely,
kind of because
absolutely.
now he could sit there. I mean, can somebody advise in the room how long Barry Jordy has been actually in jail? A while. We've been here in our current place for a year and a half now, almost. So I know he's had to be in there for a little bit. So he's liable to sit there for a little bit. And you can hire an attorney, but it doesn't always mean somebody's going to get out either. So they seem pretty set to actually, but he could be cleared. So
Yeah, and well,
yep.
I mean, it's kind of. I mean, again, trying to be neutral. It's. I mean, again, I personally don't have anything against this particular gentleman. I understand he paid for his crimes, and again, I understand. I feel for that. However, like I said, you have to remember too. For those of you who are trying to figure, oh, why are you giving this guy sympathy? Guys, remember, everybody has done something wrong, no matter how small or how big. Somebody's done something wrong in their past. And also be aware, again, to some of the Westerners, they've sacrificed, sold everything they had, lived and died, blood, sweat, and tears. They sold everything to move to the Philippines and then to get deported. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Paul, it's other people too as well. So therefore, again, I get it. It doesn't mean you don't like the guy. It doesn't mean the guy's not human. It doesn't mean he's not a person. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be fair to everybody. So therefore, what I'm saying is, I feel for him. Now, I don't know if he had good intentions. I don't know. I'm not him, nor do I know if he has bad intentions. But either way, I mean, don't be quick to judge and chop people's heads off, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying?
He's going down like the Titanic.
Well, I'm not going to argue with
What do you think,
that.
Michael? So what do you think of seeing our friend there?
Well, I think he probably deserves to be there for one reason or another. Now, if he paid his dues in the past and has reconciled, do I think people deserve a second chance? Yes, I do. If he has truly changed his life. But if he's still up to his shady stuff, which he still seems to me like a compulsive liar, who knows? But second chance, sure. He just needs to change his
Right.
ways.
And evidently something has triggered them. Something has triggered them for sure. So because I've read several articles where they've deported and there was something that they just didn't say, hey, he's a small time felon, let's get rid of him. You've got to really also do something pretty bad. So and there are things that have been done and the guys are still here. So it's You know, yes, money can get you out and some attorneys can get you out, but I still feel it's kind of like upsetting George. It would take 4 months of like really picking at him to actually get him, you know, really going. So I really believe that there's something, but
You
you
know,
know,
obviously there's something, but you
they
know,
only get rid of the people that they, you know.
Yeah. Now, Alex Bombun somewhat makes a good point. Again, I'm not judging, but Alex says it does make sense. Paul is a criminal. The majority of criminals are as intelligent as a bag of rock. That part I somewhat disagree. The thing is, criminals actually are not all of them, but most of them are actually intelligent. However, the reason why they get caught is because of hubris, meaning they think their pride. You know, they they leave the common sense. Remember, intelligence and common sense are two different things. And sometimes they think, "Oh, I'm so good, I'm so smart, nobody will ever catch me," and that's what catches them.
He could have
It's
gotten ahead of his past. He could have come out and started off the channel or in his interview saying, "Hey, I've got a past. I committed some crimes. I paid my dues. I want to move beyond that part of my life. Just want to go ahead and own it and get ahead of it, so that it doesn't. So that what's the word like? So it's not coming out, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, you deceived everybody.
And
So
especially
that
being,
was
yeah, it's been 10 years or something since he's,
yeah.
yeah,
well, it's not been quite, it'll be
it's not a
10
current
years
incident,
on in
correct?
2027 where he had actually been released. So it's, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's all types here with felonies and crimes. Passport's been expired forever. Visa's not renewed. Everything. Like, they have a whole stack of things, the expats here from all different countries. And, you know, it's, you know, they're here. It just takes something to trigger that trigger.
Huh? Is it? Mike Ross says this month is his 1 year anniversary.
Seems like he's been in there longer. Yeah, Barry Jordy. So, yeah. Hmm.
Oh, dang! Luminar says 11 months and 3 weeks.
Wow, yeah. Like I said, I didn't even know about him until a lot of these guys, until we actually looked him up to see what was going on.
He
So,
doesn't have a lawyer and has had none appearance before judge. April 28th will be on year on Mandaue Detention Center. Wow.
yeah.
Well, besides Kano, again, we really don't know as far as the restitution is concerned. I mean,
They brought it down from the 4.8 to something.
right.
We have record where it actually showed the amount he was to repay, where he was at. He was at close to, I think it went from 4.8 to 3.8. So the restitution, I think, was for over 3 million. Plus, he was possibly going to get up to 200 and something years for the
Yeah,
15,
and
16 counts of
and Paul's
wire.
exact words aren't
Uh,
helping. And what I mean is that one video he says he paid his restitution. On another video, he can never pay his restitution, which are two conflicting different stories from his own
And the
lips.
tax money. I think he mentioned his tax
Correct.
money.
So it's
too,
kind of like,
so.
well, first off, realistically, you can never pay that money back. I mean,
So that's another thing.
No,
He could be
no.
dealing with taxes and a couple other different things. So,
right. But again, in his words, he said he paid his restitution, and so it's kind of like conflicting again.
I mean,
That's
can
one of
it
these things.
be that the ex-girlfriend, the mother of his child in Thailand, could she have filed a bunch of support against him from 2017? And so that record's come in all of a sudden, Alex?
That's a good question. I'm not super familiar with that side of things. I don't know how the jurisdictions, like how they communicate, if they communicate. I could see more of that, I will say, being the case between the Philippines and the United States, because there's a special
Right. Yeah,
relationship
they're
between
really,
those
we
two
was hearing
countries.
Brian that they're really coming down on some of these guys over a couple thousand now. So, and they are starting to communicate, but I'm not sure, you know.
Yeah. Now, JR, again, we kind of agree with you what you said. Possibility the flag was always there, and they missed on his last entry. We did say in our previous, well, not the last live, the but lives regarding Paul, that it's possible that the BI said, "Oh wait, we missed this. He should never have been here in the first place."
But the articles that we've been reading from immigration says that they do not deport just for that. So, I mean, they can do the background checks and stuff, and that would trigger something maybe if he applied and then they're like, okay, we can't give you the permanent resident visa. But he said he was only inquiring when it triggered them. And
I
it's
also kind of have the impression, I mean, he was doing a channel and his channel, I imagine it was monetized, like, and that would technically, if he's not going and getting the right permits, especially long term,
right. So
I
you're
think a lot
still
of these,
required to be
yeah.
self-employed when you run an entire channel by yourself. Yes. It's
I mean, I'm not at all a lawyer. This isn't legal advice, but I imagine a lot of
so
countries are more
maybe our friend
yeah.
Mark could have allegedly turned him in over something like that and said that although, his backyard might be dirty too. So
Yeah. Now Denver made a good point. And Denver says if he did that, spoke the truth, he could have been an example in rebirth in the Philippines. Meaning, what he's saying is Denver again, like for example, when Old Dog interviewed him, you said you were detained in Thailand. Where were you detained? Well, I was detained in Thailand because I
was in
supported the
split
king
and
during the coup d'etat, which again, for some strange reason, he couldn't pronounce coup d'etat correctly. But anyway, I was against the coup d'etat, and they imprisoned me for that. Well, guess what? Point being is the stories that he unfurled did not match reality, and that's what Denver's saying. Had he said, "Well, you know what? Thanks for bringing that up, Old Dog. This is what happened." Versus coming up with a story. Oh well, I was in the same cell as Alex Bout again.
And
Victor Bout. For those of you again, Victor Bout was incarcerated in 2010.
A different time.
And he was Paul was incarcerated in 2013. So it's impossible they would have been in the same cell.
Well, I think if because, and not that he's a celebrity, nobody's saying he is, but when you're in the public eye, whether you have 50 subscribers or not, there's 3 people, 4, 10, 1,000, his instant 13,000 watching. A lot of people tend to, when they're in the public eye, they're told, don't say nothing right away, gather your stuff together, consider what you're going to say. And it can be put off. Okay.
Right.
So you can be confronted on it a few times. And, we talking about that. You'll see celebrities every time for months that'll just deny a breakup or something really bad went wrong and all kinds of things. And then he could have done that for a little while, but I'm sure they did still continue to watch, but I'm sure they would, not that it might have changed his outcome.
Well, I mean, it would be different. What I'm saying is for those of you, again, keep the bar stories in the bar and keep YouTube. If you're on YouTube, if you don't have anything proper to say or accurate to say, STFU, just saying. I mean, in all fairness, right. Keep the bar stories as bar stories. The end.
Yeah, it's like tell the truth or don't address, the situation. Correct. But addressing it with lies, like when it's already a bad situation, when people are already going to have a negative opinion of your actions in that situation, like you're just making it worse because it's like, okay, you're supposed to have paid your dues and learn from it and not repeat that same behavior. Like Mike said, going on the record about it again and then trying to spin it another way, like it just makes, I don't know. It also makes people feel dumb for trying to trust you to give you a second chance. I think that's an unspoken thing on his channel is there's people that felt like, oh, people are giving him a hard time. People are giving him this and that. People should be more forgiving. And then, with this situation, it's kind of made those people probably feel, some level of regret in trying to defend whatever situation they feel that he's in or not in or shouldn't be in.
Right. And again, guys, remember,
there's always a third part to this somewhere.
Well, like I said, for example, okay, let's say Old Dog says, so, hey, Paul, so you were incarcerated in Thailand. Want to talk about it? And if Paul says, no, I don't want to talk about it. He said, okay, let's move on. And then he won't even put that out in the video. You know what I'm saying? He won't even put that out.
Yeah, edit it out.
Correct. It's Gone. Zoop, didn't exist. He didn't even ask that question. Correct. For the most part. Now, would he have made a less interesting interview? Yes, but it's at least more truthful to everybody and himself at the same time. Yeah, I mean, you don't. What we're saying is, if you don't want to talk about something, we're talking about in real life too, guys. If you don't want to talk about something, nobody's forcing you to. You can say,
Yeah.
No.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, telling a little bit about it and coming forward like that wouldn't have, been a bad situation, or saying, as simple as we said, past is past. This is what's going on. I'm
I think
X
the issue
amount.
people have, and I'm not saying,
I'm 57. I have a past, and then he could have just left it. He
yeah,
didn't know anybody an explanation at any
he
point.
tried to make himself look like the hero. I think that's what's frustrating, is that he tried to take a situation in which he was doing something that was prohibited and then turning it into a situation where he was unjustly punished or something like that. I think that's where people really feel frustrated. It's like, yeah,
Right.
And now there has to be something actually going on. I no longer, after reading the articles today, would just believe that, hey, they caught him for his past. Maybe slightly, if he was going after those business ones, maybe they're like, yeah, we can't have this. This is really crazy. And then it triggered the entire office and they already got reports or something, maybe. But I'm still feeling in that realm something else, that or something else might have happened. But eventually it'll come out, or he may just leave and continue his channel back in the US in his mother's house like he was giving. That's what I find to be strange. And I can't be alone when I think about him back in the US giving that advice about still living in
yeah,
the Philippines. And we get where we hear a hard time about people living in the US, kind of like we'll talk about Mike's Philippine journey, but he's Filipino. He lived here for a long time. He still visits. We've met up with him a couple times since we've been here, and I get that because he has a lot of knowledge, but I don't, I get where, Zoom has been here, he's been in Thailand. I don't know. I still find it odd.
well, yeah, and with Mike, he's Filipino, so he's attached. He has a lot of experiences there, varied experiences that we foreigners wouldn't have, right? He's had a lot of cultural experiences, understands different nuances about the culture better than a lot of us. But I think that, when you are one of those people that, like, I don't know, he's just not even in Southeast Asia. Like, I'm in Thailand right now. I love Thailand. I feel like I can bring some of that perspective. But I also plan to go back to the Philippines. It's a little bit different when he wasn't really clear about why he left, which, my thought is, why would you go back home and kind of sweep it under the rug, pretend that you're not there when it's obvious that you're not in the Philippines? Like, if you're in the Philippines and you're vlogging, you're going to see Filipino people walking around. You're going to see tropical plants. You're going to hear different kinds of music. Like, it's really, it's the opposite of the US
We
in a
can't
lot of
avoid
ways.
them
Like, it's
dogs
just,
and roosters.
yeah, dogs and roosters, and like, it's just so lively and full of life. And when you're back in the US, it is a lot more quiet and like, it's just so different. I mean, even though both countries speak English, that's like where a lot of the similarities end. Other than that, it's just such a different environment for people to be in. And that's what
Yeah,
I
I mean,
found
it's
so
a free
strange.
world. I guess he can be who he wants, when he wants, how he wants. That's the beauty of YouTube, though, too. Kind of like Michael Johnson there in jail.
And again, that his downfall again is, why is he on YouTube? I mean, dude, come on. Why were you on YouTube in the first place? Jiminy crickets, man.
Honestly, if I was that type of mastermind with that kind of money, I'd have been on the down low, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you have like, a Swedish bank account and you have money hidden, you don't go on YouTube. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And that just didn't make sense from the get-go, and everybody will agree. Like,
Or stirring the real crap. I mean, with problems like, where they'll say, and I'm going to give an example of our channel. We know that our backyard is clean right now. You know what I mean? It's like everything's on the legit and all that. I just can't, it just kind of blows my mind knowing that it's just all of it was a risk.
Well, and also too, I think with you guys, it's not like this over-the-top commercial thing. I think it was somewhat obvious he was trying to drum up support and get people buying into it, and then eventually he was probably going to try to sell something. Of course, the ads. So I did kind of get a salesman vibe from him, like a used car salesman type of vibe from him pretty early on, just because of the way he talks and he frames his
Well,
conversations.
that, or like
He
you
does a
said,
lot
he
of-
really heavy went after. Sorry, he went really heavy at Mark Thornton and the group over there about child brides, and we're not talking. We're just having a conversation in our live streams now. We're talking. It was a direct missile hit, and so I was like, whoa. So there
Well,
it is. You know,
another angle to look at. Think psychology. Attention-seeking behavior. Now,
Yeah.
people that are compulsive liars, they lie to gain attention. They want the attention. Even if they know they're telling a lie, they do it so often, then they start believing their own lies. But the YouTube channel probably was another way for him to gain attention and continue this, feed that. He's got to feed that attention-seeking behavior.
Yep. It'll be interesting, that's for sure. It'd be really interesting, to see. But like I said, there's a chance that he could just, boop, gone. That's the last we hear from him. So, and what do we got going on?
Well, actually, I usually don't say anything, so therefore, if I, like my mom says, if I don't have anything nice to say, I usually zip it. And I remember going through the comments, and put it this way, I'm be keeping quiet. If that makes any sense.
I'm interested
Sometimes
in
I
the resolution.
wonder about people. You know what I'm saying?
I am interested in the resolution just because I think there's something for all of us to learn from these scenarios. We're not, of course, commenting on guilt or innocence, but yeah, there's just so much to learn from these kinds of situations.
Well, here's the
Yeah, sorry about that. I was thinking of what you said. No, again, like I said, some people just okay. Again, I rarely talk bad about others, but the thing is, some people just think of themselves as SJWs. They think they're above everybody else. And again, guys, regardless of whether somebody's a felon, somebody's clean, somebody's not, nobody's better than everybody else. We're all humans. We're all equal. And I tell this, and honestly, it kind of drives Heidi nuts because I actually preach, and I'm like, no, that guy, this. I
It
sound
doesn't
like
matter.
somebody who I defend everybody, if that makes any
It's a
sense.
matter of God sorting them out or the government
Oh my
sorting you
gosh.
out, or both.
Let's God sort them out.
It is
Oh
true
my
because a
gosh.
lot of people
I haven't heard that
have
in a
done
while.
something, so
Yeah.
they just have never been caught. So
And
it's
again, it just upsets me when somebody says, "Oh well," and they make quick judgments of people, and it's just, But okay, and also again, I never claim that I know everything. Honestly, I don't know much about Barry Jordan. Illuminar says Barry Jordan's passport hasn't been stamped in 8 years. I honestly don't know that. He owes approximately 350,000 pesos in visa overstay fees.
Yep.
Now this part I know. Obviously, that puts you on the blacklist. But here's the problem: if that's the case, regardless, again, I don't know anything much about Barry Jordan, but the problem you face if, let's say, an expat doesn't pay or doesn't go to immigration, that kind of stuff, will they eventually go after you? Yes. If you go into blacklist and then they hunt you down and incarcerate you, here's the issue. I'm not talking about Barry Jordan. I'm talking about in general. You're going to be incarcerated for God knows when, because there's a big backlog as far as trials and court dates and whatever. So actually, I believe somebody in the comments, I think it was AJ, says that there's a big backlog on court dates, especially during the C-19 incident or pandemic. So what we're saying is keep up with your immigration, guys. You don't want to be incarcerated for any particular reason, because you'll be there for a while before you even get to see a judge. Period. AJ again. Now, this is AJ's belief. AJ believes that the IRS was looking for restitution for the money he was ordered to pay. Now, here's the issue I have with that, AJ. Nothing what you saying, AJ, or nothing against you. If that's the case, then it would be an extradition, not a deportation.
Right.
However, it was a deportation by the Philippine government and not an extradition by the U.S. government. So therefore, I don't think that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's not even the actual government website said deport.
Correct. Correct.
And when people are wanted, they actually for sure say extra.
And I assume he's going to have to pay for his flight back to the U.S., right? Or is that?
That I cannot speak upon how that actually works. So I'm not.
Because
sure
I've heard
how
about the
with the-
repatriation loan, but this sounds like it's, of course, a different scenario.
I would think. I mean, I could only Google it, so I don't know. So I would think so, but it might be on their dime.
All right. Now, Church of Jeff again. I get where you're coming from, but I'm also very familiar with human nature and the wheel of life. Wheel of life meaning one day you're up on the wheel of life, meaning you're rich, you have money, or you're on the bottom, which means you're poor and destitute. Church of Jeff says, in my world, it's very hard to take a man over 50 seriously when he's sitting in his mother's kitchen talking about doing things successfully. I get the point, but guys, you can be the richest man on earth right now and be completely homeless the next day. It can happen that fast, and it has nothing to do with you. Things can turn, whether it's by marriage or whether by its government or something else. I'm just saying, don't take things for granted. Like Heidi, I don't take Heidi for granted. I love this woman. She makes me grilled cheese. She made me grilled cheese today. I love you.
Oh, because I made you grilled cheese. Huh? Okay.
Yes.
Well, or there's reasons too. I have to think about that because, like my dad's side of the family, there were 7 kids, and one of them stayed behind to live with my grandmother to take care of her. So him and his daughter actually lived in her house. It was a big house and everything, but some do stay behind to take care of parents. So what's wrong?
Barry, Barry, I love you. Barry says the only crime I ever committed was peeing on the sidewalk at 2 a.m. in Ojinaga, Mexico. I love you, Barry, but I hate to say this. That's really not a crime in Mexico. And what I'm saying is, Jiminy Crickets, Mexicans, I'm not in Mexico, not in the U.S. Well, I mean, some do in the U.S. If there's one thing I've learned from visiting Mexico is Mexicans that live in Mexico, when they need to pee, they just whip that crap out and just pee. Heidi has seen it, put it that way. They just whip it out. Done. So I'm just saying, I mean, but it's funny, Barry. Thank you. I wasn't gonna put that up because I don't think that's worth.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Doc M again. Harriet says that I have a sore foot because I have an old injury in Mexico because I like to mountain climb and all that kind of stuff.
I
and
think
then
they're
get hurt my
talking
foot.
about that's something different. I think.
Well, Harriet says, unless it's some other George.
Oh, let's see. I missed that
It's
one.
possible it's some other George. But I mean, and I could be wrong, but I do have a sore foot. Again, it's an old injury from Mexico. Ironically, that's what I get for being adventurous. Anyway,
Yeah, like I said, guys, this is just an extra live to drop the video that he's been seen and that what the jail is saying and what the possibilities are again. So we were just going to drop the video, but I figured again, why not a live? So
is that's about Aunt Mark Thorin, right? That's not about. It's like the other Jew was penniless when he ran the Philippines, talking about starting his cruise line.
no, he was.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mark
He
Thorin.
said there's a lot of them that said they arrived that were small vloggers at the beginning. Yeah, that didn't have a lot of money. So And they admit it, like a lot of us do. A lot of us aren't rich, so we're just basic people, everyday people.
We didn't delete any of your comments, Alex. However, YouTube does have some. They do hold comments. Now we don't.
Depends on how long.
Right.
and
If we
length.
held the comments, we would see them in our feed right here on this tablet, but there's none. So that means YouTube did it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's probably in
So
the
odds
studio.
are, again, sorry, we have no clue what was held or not because.
See one from Harriet that was abbreviating some
Right, see,
things,
that's what
which
I'm
isn't
saying.
us because
Bottom line, it wasn't us, and if it was not us, we
I
can't even see
see
it.
a
We don't even know what
retracted
you.
from 'em,
Correct.
so it
Not
must
not
be-
us. Not us. It's YouTube. YouTube himself does have that ability and power, and when they do, we don't even see it.
Well, we have a keyword list, that's for sure.
Right, but
So,
it pops up on our list, but it's not.
well, some are still hidden in studio too, but I can't see any of those.
No. This isn't like again.
Or
This
links.
is not one of those spicy lives of sun. Some of you. Go says mini gops is here. No, well, go. I hate to say this, but if there's anybody king of gossips, sorry. I mean, there's something called they invented. It's called a mirror. I mean, I love you, go, but also, fairness. You know what I'm saying? Mary in the PI says the smoking lamps, Casa de Queco. No, yeah, Michael Johnson says, I hope you visit sometime in the future, Barry. You're not too far away. Yes, actually, yes, Barry did come over here and we've met Barry. Great guy, Michael. You'd enjoy his company, definitely. Yes.
And not all of our lives, guys. You guys do understand that it's not the base of our channel. So we have we have over 1,000 videos of expat help, our personal stuff, and we're
Right.
not direct like we hear Andy say that's what he does.
Right.
Are we covering it more now than ever? Well, yeah, because some things actually died out. So you're not going to get entertainment 24/7, and that's why a lot of you that are in there saying stuff actually watch other channels. So
right, if
this is an extra live, and we're
correct,
not going to do
and-
jumping jacks or have people come in and fight just because the people want to see it. We're
like
just
for
putting out
instance,
stuff.
again, actually we have Alex in the chat right now, right? He's live right there. You can see him. If all our lives or content are yell fests, he wouldn't even be here. Just saying, right?
Well,
Would you, Alex?
Yeah, he
no.
would. Alex would be there.
No, he won't. He's not that kind of guy.
Well, we all like drama, so
Right.
there's no doubt
I'm
that
not
we
as much
do,
in-
but we can't have. We were lucky to see Andy and we had Andy regular guy in here. The first one they were screaming, and then you can't satisfy them all. The next one, being they were talking nicely, we got, oh well, this sucks. I only stayed in for 30 seconds. That's up to you.
And again, that's
dingo
proves you can't
brains.
make everybody happy. Again, in one
And we're
video
not.
they were yelling at each other. In one video they're live.
And honestly, the truth is, like we would say, if they don't want to watch, they don't want to watch. This channel was built on our sweat and tears, not yours. So
There's so many channels out there. I feel the same way. If somebody doesn't like my content or certain YouTubers' content, I mean, you've got tons of Philippines channels, like
right,
dozens
and it's
of
kind of like
Philippines
television.
channels.
They'll switch it on and off, and that's where it is. I mean, you'll turn on the news some days, and there's a lot of shit going on. You're like this stuck to it, and the next day it's like I can't even watch these people. So I get it. I
Right.
get it. So
Well,
we can't
yeah.
be entertaining 24/7 for, less than a couple hundred a month, and it wouldn't matter how much they pay. It's what we're actually doing. We've been doing a lot more here lately.
Right.
So.
And thank you, Ted, again for your support. Again, Ted says, Go, are you doing some self-projecting there, buddy? Basically, again,
Go goes in a lot of rooms, has his own crew, his own channels, and all of that. They go in other channels. We got it. We know that all of them exist, and it is what it is.
Right. Alex Maman says most of us in YouTube like attention, some more than others, but that's part of it.
It's part of it, and we get it. We get the trolls, the comments, and yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, we'll probably be wrapping this up anyways. It was an extra live, and like I said, it was better than releasing it, and so and
Yeah,
it
we're just
hits
giving
another
you,
part. it hits another part of the crew and the ones that live here in Asia also. So that is for sure.
Yeah, see, actually, this is actually a very smart comment. He's not a fugitive. Idiot old ladies here. No.
No, he's not a fugitive.
He's not a fugitive.
The
no.
articles that were put out, I seen a ton of vloggers that initially did it and read the article word for word, and it's like, that is old stuff. They didn't even, and you have to read it word for word and what they're doing, know what the laws are, and like I said, before we even did this, we sat around for, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours
Right.
looking for additional stuff just to make sure, and that's we seen what cases we looked at different cases. No, we're not attorneys. No, we're not. It's a discussion.
Correct. And
So,
again, the godly
only Paul and
right.
God know.
You know,
what's going
the
on.
hand of Uncle Sam didn't come from the heavens and snatched him, if that makes any sense. No.
Yeah,
That
he-
didn't happen. That's
He may not get deported at all.
right.
That is a possibility.
Bruce Davis says, "Oh yeah, I love grilled cheese, tomato soup." Right? I know that. Oh my gosh, tomato
Oh,
soup.
yeah.
is that grilled cheese. And Ted Dinkins says, "I miss government cheese."
I know, that's what I said. So, it's like, yep.
Gogo says, "Rice is life." Actually, yesterday I said that's it. I want a divorce. There's no rice cooked in this house.
And then what I say? I said, bite me.
True
I
story.
said, you have, because I ordered him up spaghetti and chicken. They have like those meals that are put together. And he's like, but I don't have any rice. I said, but you got
Spaghetti.
spaghetti that
Spaghetti.
goes on chicken. He goes, I
Right.
won't eat the chicken without
I said,
rice.
I won't eat chicken
And he's
without
serious.
spaghetti.
He just skipped
No,
over
I-
that. And I was
no,
like,
I-
all right, eat your cheese balls and go to bed, man.
Yeah, no. But
Eat your own balls, man.
honestly, I think government cheese was great back in the 70s.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't say anything bad in my comments, just wondering what happened. I'm very careful with the things I
There's a couple things, like I said, we have our own word list for good reasons, and it catches a lot of things that get filtered out for good reasons. And then you get the ones, if there's any links, it'll take it away. Any words that are abbreviated, they take them away. If it's too long, they take it away. So there's multiple reasons for sure.
Now, Barry in the PI said something interesting, and for those of you who visit Mexico, just so you guys know, Barry in the PI says the police showed up with guns down. There were 4 of us teachers, and they hauled us in, guns drawn. I think it's, again, don't take it personally, not because of you. I think because me and Heidi experienced the exact same thing. We believe it's because they assume that everybody's involved with the cartel until they realize you're not. Then they get their hands off their weapon. But when they approach you, they're kind of ready for it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but police do that in the U.S. They're ready when they approach the car.
Only if you give them, I mean, we didn't do anything.
Yeah,
You know,
it was-
yeah.
We had our own experiences
Right.
there for sure.
Yo mama. Your mama's in the house. Hey, yo mama.
It was great to see everybody. I'm going to drop, but yeah, thanks so much for covering all these.
Yeah,
topics.
thanks so much.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
we're
think
gonna
gonna
say
wrap this
yeah.
up
Phil
too,
Phil
so-
Johnson says I lived in Chiapas 6 months stay. Thank you so much, Alex, and thank you so much,
Yeah.
Michael Johnson. Again, guys, thank you so much. Again, it was just a quick update to give everybody up
So,
to, and
unless,
again,
like,
just
something
so you
really-
guys can see, our friend Paul. Thank you so much, guys. We
Yeah,
love you
in case
all.
there's something breaking, then it'll be the regular live on Tuesday. We'll try to.
Correct. We'll give you up to date again, where we try to be. Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you, Michael Johnson. Thank you so much, Ted. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, JR, for being here with us. Thank you so much, Dr. M. Oh, yes, sorry. I already said JR. Philip Janek, Illuminar, Go-Go, Sons in the house, Dr. M, Barry in the PI, Harriet. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon again later on.
Yep. See you guys on Tuesday, Philippine time.
Tuesday,
or
yes.
Monday. So we appreciate you guys being here. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you, guys. Bye.